Extreme Collectibles here with a monster piece, a bitch of a piece, so to say. See what I did there? Get away from her, you know, never mind. And very excited to review this. There's a lot going on here. I don't know how I'm going to review this. I'll probably hold it up for part of it. The rest will be voiceovers of videos and close-ups. Where I'm mounting this is going to be a hell of a time to get it mounted up there. So this part of the video I'm reviewing now will probably be mixed in days later after I kill myself trying to get this mounted where it's supposed to go. But let's just jump into this Alien Queen piece. Extreme Collectibles here with Hollywood Collectible Group Alien Life-Size Queen Wall Mount. I think I got that name right, might be incorrect. This piece is $1,600 from HCG. I bought it on day one PO, so about a year ago, and I've been making payments. He finally arrived a few weeks ago, and unfortunately the first one was broken, as many of them were. It's this guy right here was completely broken off and it damaged some other pieces. HCG did have excellent customer service. They immediately picked that one back up and delivered this new one. There was one small damage where the inner mouth had a tooth broken out right here, but thankfully it is an easy fix. There are a few other scratches that came from shipping. Some of it you can't tell, and I don't know if it's the paint quality, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So I'm going to hold it like this as long as I can, just as I said for the background info. This is obviously from Aliens, the second installment of the Alien series movies, when the Alien Queen is on the ship trying to kill Bishop and Ridley, and for the life of me, I cannot, Newt, sorry, couldn't remember her name. Yeah, this was shipped in one large box with thousands and thousands of packing peanuts, as you can see here. This was the second shipment to make sure it arrived undamaged. HCG made 125 of the exclusive, so the exclusive has this longer inner mouth, where the collector's edition of 500 pieces has this shorter inner mouth. It's the only difference between those two. So with that, that's kind of a little bit of background, and I went through it fast because this is a heavy piece to continue to hold like this. I can't put it all the way up because her left hand at the bottom comes out of the bottom and I would crack that finger off. So let's move on really quickly to concept and design, and we'll do some close-ups and some other pictures, then followed by paint and sculpt. So I already alluded to part of the concept and design, but obviously the Alien Queen is making its way. Looks like it's the spaceship or the hatch. She's pushing her way out with her hands through one of the doors. What I really like about this is when I ordered it, I didn't think it would be life-size. I think this very well may be life-size. Not that I've ever seen the Queen in real life. But so it's a very cool concept. I love where I'm going to put it. Actually, here's a picture of where the final mounting place is right here. And this was a bitch to get mounted. I mean, in no pun intended. Very, very difficult, and hopefully it doesn't, you know, fall and kill anybody or destroy the statue. So very cool concept and design. It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a door. The Queen is coming out up close. There are some inaccuracies with the actual Alien Queen. I'm not going to dive into detail on those, but it is a few, you know, for a licensed piece, I thought they would have been more spot on, but that doesn't take away the cool factor. It still looks really cool. It's still obvious it's the Alien Queen. So let's kind of steer away from that. It looks from up close, there are some parts that look really genuine, really cool, but there are some plasticky looking parts, unfortunately. So it's best to display this not straight up, but at kind of a distance. That's kind of where that's why I like where I have it displayed here. So paint and sculpt, first I'm going to talk about the wall mount itself, the doors, the spaceship. So first of all, I do like what they did with a lot of things. I like the fact that they added the handle. They, you know, it's more engineering than sculpt. They added level 5. They added what looks like bullet holes along the front of it. So I do like the concept, I like the design, I like the engineering. It's not really a sculpt. The paint, just like the review I did on the Power Loader, which go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen it yet, the paint's a little flat to me. It looks very basic, it doesn't look amazing. I think they could have done a lot more. So this is my second HCG piece, and again the paint leaves a little bit wanting. There are a few scuff marks, which I don't know if that happened from shipping or due to the paint, but moving up and down, I do like the concept of the paint. So I like how they decided we're going to paint, you know, parts of it yellow and black, and you know, the emergency pull handle red behind that, and I like the colors they chose, but it's very flat, it doesn't really pop, and I think they could have done a few different tones to really give it more vibrancy. And talking about the paint and sculpt on the alien, Her Majesty, so to say, first of all, I think they did a good job. Let me talk about paint first. I think they did a good job on the alien. I wish it would have been a little more glistening like it is around the mouth area and the tendrils and the teeth. I wish it would have been a little slimier, so to say, which you can do some of that translucent resin type feel. But it is shiny. The paint, it's not as flat as it is on the door, so it's a good contrast. And they mixed in the greens and the traditional greens and blues that you do see with Alien. I think they did a good job with the hands. And then speaking of the hands, so the sculpt is pretty cool. It almost looks like the face hugger, to be honest with you. And I don't know if that was a design from the films or if it's just a coincidence, but they look like little face huggers, and they're actually her hands. So if that's something that was meant in the films, someone let me know, because that's a really cool aspect to this. But I like her very long fingernails, her joints, her knuckles. I think they did a good job sculpting her hands. Then the head, starting at the dome, again, a little bit less greenish, but more of the blues and the blacks. It's very smooth, not really a lot of texture to it. I think it looks good. It doesn't look great. And then I don't even know what you would call these, almost the scales. The part that I alluded were broken when I first arrived. They look very cheap. They look plasticky. It's very dark. So I'm not a big fan of those. Then moving to her mouth, which is where all the action is. The teeth, first of all, look very good. They're almost a clear resin, which is kind of cool. And I like the spacing and the sculpt on them. And then I can't even remember what to call it, but almost the bondage, the tendrils that are holding her mouth together, the classic Alien look. Very cool. Again, they're almost this transparent resin, and as you get closer to the top and bottom of the mouth, the paint mixes in with what color the rest of the face is. So I like that a lot. Then on the inside, they have this. They added a bunch more green, where her, you know, the top roof of her mouth, bottom of her mouth, very cool. You know, Alien doesn't really have a tongue unless you consider the inner mouth another tongue. And I like. There's a lot of detail and sculpt on that, and I think they did a good job. The paint again on that is a little flat. I wish it was a little more slimy to make it have a live appearance. And then lastly, you can see her gums. I like what they did with her gums. You know, it's showing her sneer, her lips curling back just like the traditional Alien Queen when she's about to fight Ripley. So the gums are a mix of that translucent resin material with the greens and the blacks and the blues. So I think they did a great job with the gums.
Hey guys, so that's my summary of the HCG Live Alien Queen on wall piece. I'm not very happy with the video, how it turned out, because it's a very difficult piece to review with close-ups and things like that. But as you see, I cannot reshoot it, so it is what it is. But I hope you liked it. Please drop me a like, drop me a comment what you think of the piece, and subscribe if you have not. Thanks so much. Take care.